Hi. So I got a comment on a video that I made in my classroom about how somebody said they get really nervous and anxious about the first days of school, and so I just wanted to talk about how less is more in the first few days of school. So the less anxiety we can have and the less things that we have planned to cover, the better we can actually feel in the classroom, and the better it is for our students, and the better foundation we're going to lay for them to have a really successful year with comprehensible input. My goal at the very beginning of the year is to give them a really calm atmosphere and to be a really calm presence in the classroom so that they start to feel calm when they're in my class too. Because, well, A, I want their anxiety to be low, and B, I want my anxiety to be low, and C, I almost want to get more and more relaxed as I'm teaching. Sometimes I'm a really energetic person, so sometimes I kind of feel like my energy is getting ramped up, like it's just heading up, like it's almost like a balloon taking off, like a hot air balloon. And so what I try to do is kind of put sandbags on the balloon and keep it down so that I can just go slow and have time to have a very calm feeling in my classroom. It's just of the utmost importance. So actually having less that we've planned to cover and less that we plan to do is better, because then it allows us to slow down. So my first few days of school, like the first 2 or 3 days of school, I only have basically a few activities that I'm planning on doing, because the most important thing for me is to establish just kind of the feeling in the classroom and the rules of the classroom and how I want the kids to behave. So the first days of school, all I'm planning on doing is talking about their cards. So they draw these little pictures of things they like to do or foods they like to eat, and they put their name on the card. And so I just look around the room and try to find cards to talk about. I also talk about the calendar and the weather. And that is really all I'm planning on doing the first few days of school, because I want to have, like I said, a lot of time for myself to be calm in the classroom. So one thing that I try to do to keep myself calm and to give that calm feeling to my class is to breathe, like literally breathe deeply while I'm instructing the class. So like between every word or every phrase, I try to take a deep breath, like just a very deep, calm breath, and breathe out through my nose. And it's like, I mean, literally, it's like yoga or meditation. Like I'm trying to get my limbic system to be calm so that I have that assertive leadership that's calm for my students. And one time I read this book by a fellow named Cesar Millan. It's The Dog Whisperer, and he talks about how dogs really want a leader, like you're their leader, right, when you're training them. The dog really wants a leader who is exerting this energy. Animals really respond to the energy that we put out, and kids are animals too, we're all mammals. So we want to have that assertive, calm leadership energy so that they feel comfortable in following our lead. So the more kind of amped up we get, and the more like we want to cover and we want to do this and we want to do that, and we're forgetting to breathe and we're forgetting to just take it slow and easy, the worse it's going to be for our kids. And it's really hard for me at the beginning of the year because I'm fresh, I am nervous, I am excited, and so I have to consciously breathe in between what I'm saying to the kids. So while I am breathing, like I'll breathe, and as I breathe, I kind of scan the room and make eye contact with as many kids as I possibly can, and that's a good chance for me to check and see if they're understanding what I'm saying. So trying to keep my utterances spaced out with breaths in between them, and like literal silence in between the breaths, is important for me. So also an advantage to this is I'm getting them used to the fact that in my classroom it's going to be a slow pace. So for instance, like let's say I just picked up a card and it says, like, you know, this girl wrote, drew a picture of the sun, like she likes the sun. So I would say like, hey class, and I might even point to the word class behind me. Hey class, Mary M, and like if I've already established that M means likes, I can just do this and they'll, you know that I'm saying she likes this. M, and then on her card I would just show the sun, le soleil. And I just kind of let like every word sink in, and it gives me a chance to breathe, it gets them a chance to process what I just said, and it keeps a calm atmosphere in the class. Something else that you can do to help keep them calm and to slow you down is to, like, if you notice that their attention is getting a little bit taxed, you can have them turn and talk to a partner just in English. Just, I would say to them, okay guys, turn and tell your partner what have we learned about each other so far today, or tell your partner what we've learned about the calendar today. So probably about every 5 or 6 minutes at the beginning of the year, it would be a good idea to have them turn and process, because you're trying to build their stamina for listening. So that'll help you slow down. It'll give you a little break to calm yourself down and let them process and, get their feelings out, because I don't think we quite think about this all the time, but it's, it's new for them. It's like a brand new language, especially in first year, which is 4 out of 5 of my sections are first year. It's a new experience, and so they need a chance to discharge their emotions. Something else that helps me slow down and be calm is to walk. And as I walk to the word, like if I've written the word on the board, or if I'm going to pick up a card, to literally walk to the word, or if I'm talking about a kid, to like walk to the kid a little closer to them and point to them. And as I walk, I walk really slow. I try to train myself to walk really slowly, and I breathe. It's just so important to remember to breathe. I've seen teachers' videos where they're just filling the air constantly. I mean, it's kind of human nature, right? Silence can tend to make us uncomfortable, but we just have to get ourselves used to having these moments of silent, like, breathing in the classroom, for lack of a better way to put it. Another thing that helps me slow down is to really be looking as I'm breathing and looking at the class, and even as I'm saying a word, to be watching for them and see if there's like any chance that anybody's about to start talking. If they're like leaning towards a partner, or they look like they're, looking around not paying attention, like there's a chance that, somebody's about to break one of the rules, especially rule number 2, which is one person talks and everybody listens. I just take a deep breath and I think to myself, okay, this is a chance for me to exert my leadership. It's a chance for me to teach them the rules. And I just slowly, really slowly, and trying to maintain a happy composure, walk over to my classroom rules, point to them, and just smile at the class. I don't say the rule, I don't talk about the rule, I just point to the rule, smile at the class, and then I kind of look back at the kid who I think was about to talk or who was talking, and just kind of give him a little extra like that. And then smile at the rest of the class and take a deep breath and go right back to what I was instructing. So no like yelling at them, no talking about the rule, just like I noticed somebody was breaking this rule or about to break this rule. And it's a good chance for me to just calm myself down. So also it might make people feel more comfortable, like teachers, it might make teachers feel more comfortable if you kind of have some ideas in the back of your head, like about things you can do to fill the time. Like if kids are not paying close attention, or they seem to be getting bored with, the cards or the calendar or the weather, then I kind of have this menu of ideas in the back of my head that I can just move on to make sure that I'm not fighting for their attention. I don't ever want to feel like I'm battling them, like trying to get them interested in what I'm saying. I just want it to be, like I said, very calm and easy, and of course they're paying attention. So if they're losing focus, I would turn to doing like write and discuss. So I would just pretend like, I wouldn't say like, well, you guys aren't really focused, I'm gonna get out this document camera. I would just sort of pretend like this is what we were gonna do next, and I would just calmly walk over to the document camera, fire it up, and do write and discuss. So that's where you just kind of talk with the class about what you've just been discussing, be it the calendar, the weather, the cards, or all three, and just write it down. and talk to them as you're writing it. Like, hey guys, is today Monday or Tuesday? Yes, it's Tuesday. So aujourd'hui c'est mardi. Is it hot or cold? Okay, yeah, it's pretty hot. So aujourd'hui il fait, and I would be asking those questions in French and doing the whole discussion mostly in French. It might also help you to feel more calm if you had some pictures ready to go for picture talk, like kind of lined up on your browser on your computer, ready to project and talk about. If you had 3 or 4 pictures kind of lined up and ready to go, you'd feel like, oh, I've got something else I can move on to. You can also do, like, at the end of class or anytime during class, you can do what I would, I guess, call sort of a metacognitive debrief, or like a metacognition moment or something like that, where just in English you say, okay kids, let's talk about, how this class is going, what are you learning, what are you understanding, how's it going for you, and turn and tell somebody, how class is going for you right now, and then maybe share out. So to recap, less really is more. So having fewer things that you plan on doing that day and to kind of get through or cover will calm you down, but also having like those things in your back pocket where you've got these backup plans in case the attention is waning that you can turn to. But really the most important thing is to talk slowly and not let yourself get like way amped up in your emotions, so that you can just keep yourself calm and keep the kids calm. And to me, the best way that I have found to do that is to remember to breathe deeply and slowly and calmly as you're either walking to a word, pointing to a word, or like after you've said a word, just kind of taking a breath and looking at the class just to check in with their eyes and check in with their comprehension. So I hope this helps. I know the beginning of the year there's so much going on, there's so many ideas, you're meeting all these new people. I think something else to help us is to think about the fact that we don't need to just like start in the language like the minute they walk in. Somebody was saying to me yesterday at school, yeah, I get like this feeling like I've got to set the bar really high, like we're gonna stay in the language the whole period long. But my thinking on that and my experience has been like, when it's time to stay in the language, it's time to stay in the language. But like at the beginning of class, at the end of class, and anytime we need a break, I don't feel bad popping out of the language and talking to them just from my heart in English. So at the beginning of class, especially at the beginning of the year, especially if I'm feeling anxious or I feel they're feeling anxious, I don't mind kind of telling them my expectations and reminding them their only job is to sit and listen, and just maybe even telling them kind of like some ideas on what we might be doing today, and just kind of checking in with them. That helps me to connect with them as people, and that helps me be less stressed, and I think it helps them too. So I hope this helped, and I know for a lot of us this is like our last weekend before we go back to school. Some of us are already back in school, so good luck to all of us, and hang in there. It's not always easy, but we're doing the best we can for our students, and we are angels in the classroom, I think. All right, thank you so much, and bye.